everybody. Welcome to the new normal. I'm your host, Lisa Davis, aka Litecoin Lisa. Today we have the one and only Skullcap SaVant joining us. Make sure you're following him on Rumble. I have links in the description below. And now you can follow him on VTest. So go to VETEST.app and join the community. Make sure to join my free tier. That is the chat that will be showing on screen. So if you want to be seen, make sure you're there, and you can scan the QR code here up in the corner to join. Super easy process, and would love to see you there. So be right back with Skullcap right after this. Welcome back. Welcome back.
Whoa.
And we got to, oh man, is today the 22nd? No, the 23rd.
It's the 23rd.
Yesterday was V-Day, the 22nd.
The monthly V-Day, right? On the 22nd.
Yes.
You're commemorating it every month now, huh?
That's right. It's something to celebrate, you know. We don't have a Z-Day, so I have to.
Right. Well, yes, you do. 26th?
The 26th would be the Z-Day. Yeah, I guess so. There we go. I had somebody give me crap about talking about the Z, and that they were saying that JFK Jr.'s tattoo with the
dagger
through the Z was to say that he wanted to kill all the Zionists, and which I guess is possible.
That was one of the operating theories on the dark web for a while.
I hadn't
even before the Q posts and during the Q posts. That was one of the lines of rhetoric that you heard people saying.
Hold on, I gotta help Nana. You're not in there. Basic count. Go back to Eden. Okay, subscribe, enter, and then you go to video. You can watch it there. And to chat, you can go to topics. Oh, you've made your screen too big.
Sorry.
VStig. There you are. And you've already chatted. Yeah. So
I chatted, but I didn't see the video.
Okay, it's up here. And then it should say pop out to Marco. It's doing this. It's not popping out. Well, I know a guy that I can call and ask about it. So from here you say pop out to video.
All right. I'll take enough of your time.
Okay. No, it's fine.
This is a real life.
Real life. So join, you hit topics and jump right in there and chat, and that's what we'll be sharing. Thank you. Thanks, Mom.
Yep.
Okay, extra camera. And let's see who's chatting it up already.
Getting into the chat console.
Looks like me and Shmi is here. Oh, it's late for him. So Shmi is in Ireland. He has a tier on creators called Irish Veritans, and they're doing some real cool community peer-to-peer kind of stuff. And then Mom is the Go Back to Eden. So if you see Go Back to Eden, oh, hold on a minute. I'll shut the door.
All right. Okay, she changed her name from Crypto Nana too, huh? Because she's trying to go incognito from here on. I'll toss a chat in there too.
Thank you very much. Yeah, so that's one of her old emails because she was really, actually that's kind of, I mean, I probably shouldn't be telling that story, but that's part of the way my parents met, is they were really into the Go Back to Eden is a style of gardening where it's no pesticides and all this kind of,
yeah. So it's like her original gamer tag.
Yeah.
For modern parlance.
Nana's gamer tag. Yes. Now you know.
Funny. Well, yeah. So diving into it here, huh? This has been an interesting wrap-up week for, not even a wrap-up week, but kind of a blossoming of some themes that you and I've been talking about ever since the Butler, Pennsylvania assassination attempt.
Yeah,
and
it has a history and some consistency there. So I don't know if you want to take people down a abbreviated version or just tell them.
Yeah, for people that are coming to this topic, like the previous week's events, namely the FIFA World Cup tournament coming to a close, and of course, there's not much else in the media right now occupying the airwaves other than the world's coming to an end because the war with Iran's back on like Donkey Kong. And there's some interesting stuff just with the July 13th to the July 20th window in general that you and I were discussing before the show started, where if you go back to that Butler PA in 2024 and then 25 and then 26, this basically 2-year window that we're looking at, if you take the clock back to those points in time, there were some spells that were cast, some V-Steg spells that were cast with a great amount of magnitude as far as I was concerned that were tied emotionally to these key events. And July 13th itself, all the way to the July 20th period, was, one with, it was rife with movie releases that were very, very much thematically portraying the Oz story in one way or the other. Twisters, the sequel to the first Twister, Dorothy gets to Oz into this traumatic dream sequence that she has because of a tornado. So Twisters, operating there as the theme of the movie, the storm chasers and stuff, like the storm being one of these Q themes too in the drops and everything since 2017. That was apparent even just in the trailer of that movie, where you had the drone cylinder where all the little tiny drones
Dorothy
they released.
That was Dorothy.
The back of the truck was called Dorothy V or Dorothy 5. Dorothy from Wizard of Oz, Twisters, V-Steg.
Yeah.
And then the truck that it was in the back of was a white lion, was the white Dodge Ram with the word lion written on the back, which matched up with shipping container accident themes and all these things that were happening with the with shipping lanes and evergreen ships in particular at the time. And there being a shipping container ship that ran aground in the Barack Obama movie that was on Netflix, Leave the World Behind. And I was always pointing with my work with the V-Steg in the past to the fact that we're not actually going into the age of Aquarius. We're going into the age of Leo. And with the reverse of the mimetic spell that's on our minds in regard to correct history, this is a very purposeful twisting of reality to make us think we're actually 180 degrees off on the astrological calendar. Time, misrepresentation of timing. We're right on the timeline. And this is, part of the spell of Kronos, Saturn, the chronology. That's why they name it Kronos, the father time. And, we've pontificated over this period about Cliff's data suggesting that there's this unfulfilled prescient marker for the language of the end of time. What does this mean? Or falling out of time, excuse me. Falling out of time is the language in the WebBot data. And to his knowledge, when he's looking at it, it's yet unfulfilled language. I think what Lisa and I have been onto with uncovering the spells to both decode and defrag and dispel this time warp matrix that's kind of on our minds. If you think about time as this psychic substance that can be manipulated with our perception.
The 4D, yeah.
This has been the goal of the VSTEG of the past with different factions who have used it to put certain dampenings on our thought patterns to, you know, what reality really is, the true
And
nature of
trap us
history, the
into
true
the
nature of science, finance, religion, health.
You
all
know
those
what's
things.
interesting is right now there's that big push to end daylight savings time. And
This
there's
all factors in.
there's a
Yeah.
countermeasure to stay on daylight savings time, but not switch back to standard time. So it's interesting that there's the polar opposites in that as well, both bills.
Uh-huh.
There's one other thing that's a current issue about time. Well, Eternal Report. This is just a side
Okay.
thing. Please go check out Eternal Report. It's built on Dragon Chain, and they are trying to like correct history basically.
Oh.
But you can they're using blockchain to timestamp different events, or you can use a website or a story or whatever and use Eternal Report. So because our history has been so manipulated, we've seen that over and over again. So
Oh yeah,
check that out as well.
interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not to get too long in the tooth with the review lesson either of the VSTEG. This is just, it's important maybe for viewers to have a refresher course of why the spell is cast in the first place and why the Trump faction seems to want to dispel it by including the V glyph alongside positive events that help inch us back out of the darkness that we've been put under.
If you think about some of the things that they're targeting or pointing to are things like FIFA, the world, the biggest, event that not only people that are physically there, that they're looshing and using all of our energy to create this spell to be even more strong, but all the people watching and all the people.
You got to meet people where they're at too. Like the hundreds of thousands of masses that are into sports ball, as I like to say, like just any sport, right? Just sports ball. And they get all raucous about it.
Yeah.
It's a particular fashioned reality that they have in their own minds. And you're not going to get them into the fold of considering what you and I talk about on a podcast very easily. So you do need the positive association of the steganography alongside other things that will help inch them out of it, literally inch them out of it. So, but anyway, aside from all this, back to the time period of July 13th to 20th, which is how we got on this tangent in the first place, where you're just kind of in review mode, where Butler, Pennsylvania, as an event also occurs in conjunction with all of these Oz happenings in the movies. And they're very subtle, they're very subliminal, but they're there because we can see them with the V-steganography, and they tie in with the movie releases, to the themes with those movie releases, to the weeks that they released them. It all has a timing aspect consequent with major political events, which are all scripted too, with the kayfabe. We understand this with the VSEG. It's purposefully scripted, again, to inch those weakened minds out of the state that they're in. But the Butler, Pennsylvania incident, as we've ascribed, is just a steganography spell that has all sorts of moving parts to it that I don't think I've found anybody else that has the same take, because they're all looking at it at face value for a shooting at the president, who was the shooter, and asking all these questions that don't matter, because in my eyes, the shooter actually was one of his guys,
maybe protecting,
and took out the real assassin in the audience. And then they made up a character from Buffalo, this firefighter from Buffalo, whose station number was 27, the ritual murder number. It's like we talked about last week, where Trump's speech actually happened on the 27th anniversary of JFK Jr.'s supposed death.
Oh, I see.
It's the same age as Jimi Hendrix died and Kurt Cobain died and Alanis Morissette. And you can find music industry is rife with these. And outside the music industry, you can find these too, but the
Well,
really
think
high
about that.
profile ones.
Music is frequency. It
Mhm.
is spells. I mean, why do you get a song in your head over and over? You know, repetition, chanting,
Yes.
flooshing, exchanging energy. It's a whole exchanging energy. So
Yeah. It's all an impression on our noggin here. So that was 24. And at the end of that week's period in 24 was the 20th of July. So we had the Butler, Pennsylvania assassination attempt with the V steganography attached, all of the Oz associative spells and the V steg that was attached to that. And then of course you had then the 55th anniversary of the moon landing, which wrapped it all up on the 20th of that month. Again, 55, there's V steg right there in the moon landing. And you carry this forward. We talked then throughout the course of, you know, these podcasts that Lisa and I've been doing for 18 months or so, we saw further on that in 25 Wolverine came back up again, and he was an interesting figure to come back up. Hugh Jackman's character in the Deadpool Wolverine movie, because you had the association with him in the Oz universe in the Deadpool Wolverine movie. Marvel released some weird, you know, sound video that was 8.5 hours long of just Wolverine breathing, where right in the middle of it at 4:15, 4 hours and 15 minutes into it, he stopped breathing, and it was a zoom close up of the first ever comic book that Todd McFarlane drew of Wolverine. And that was an interesting thread for us to find, because now we were looking for a date, 4:15. And it was also something that we knew there was probably going to be a longer thread of details that associate with it. So what did we find on 4:15? Was
Mia's birthday. Text.
Or not 4:15, it was 4:10 or something.
It wasn't 4:20.
Let me see. No, I think
because there's all those comms around 4:20, which is the nod to weed and all that stuff. But
yeah. I'm looking it up here.
That
because I have it in here. It is. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah. Bam. Yeah, 4 minutes and
what did it say?
10 seconds.
Oh, it was 4:10, which is 10:04. I remember us having that discussion.
4 minutes and 10 seconds in, which that makes sense, because what it was now, it was a date. Back to that. It was a date we were looking for. So it was 4:10, not 4. Sorry for the association.
That's right.
4:15 is a weird one with tax season every year. So it was that one gets into my head sometimes with the work. But Wolverine, again, being an aspect of Oz, the breathing video that's 8.5 hours long, that only has a short 5-second long clip of the zoom up at 4 hours and 10 minutes in, 4:10. Had us looking for a date. What happened the very next day, on the day after this video release, because it was April 9th that the Wolverine video launched, we had a helicopter crash happen in the Hudson River. And it was a weird set of circumstances. It was the Siemens CEO, whose name was Augustin Escobar.
And a child.
And 3 of his kids and his wife, Mircea Cumbrubi Montal. And she was an interesting figure too. If the Siemens CEO dying in a random helicopter crash in New York wasn't odd enough, the wife that was on board the helicopter too, Mircea Cumbrubi Montal, was the heiress to the Barcelona FC, the football club team, which is one of the more famous football clubs in the world. And the helicopter crash ritualistically, it seemed, occurred right in front of a statue. It's called the Water Soul, right? Which is a big face with a shush mark on it, staring right out at the Hudson River. And it happened right at the bridge, which a week later, a Mexican Spanish era ship crashed into the bridge where the helicopter crashed. So you've got the Spanish CEOs of Siemens and the Barcelona FC football team. The Spanish ship crashing into the bridge, which was docked at Pier 17, 17 for Q, and all of the associative steganography that comes out of the Q post. There's a lot of V-steg that we find originating within the Q post. It's where we have anchoring for a lot of this stuff. And it wasn't really until that ship crashed the week later that I was like, I really have to be looking for some more emphasis on this, because there's something to this. So randomly in the next week, to tie this all together, Lisa sends me a text out of the blue about some article that she found about JFK Jr.'s favorite watch that he used to wear. And she was like, I just feel like, I remember she was like, I just feel like this is big. And I'm like, holy shit, it might be. That's crazy. Let's check this out. And so I started cross-referencing the watch, because time is a key indicator of the V-steg work. Remember, we just went through it. The chronos, the chronology, the false
and the watch
history.
was the Intrepid, which used to be the name of the company, or used to be the name of the company.
No, it's not. No. It's a Timex watch. Yeah, Timex used to be called Ingersoll
That's what it was.
But it was still a Timex watch. It was an article about a Timex re-release. They were re-releasing the Intrepid.
The
and the Intrepid was the style of watch that JFK Jr. wore. Right.
And then Timex used to be Ingersoll.
Yes. Timex used to be Ingersoll. Yes. And Ingersoll, like we said last week, Ingersoll manufactured a pocket watch called the Trump back when the company was called Ingersoll. So time everywhere, clocks and more clocks.
Well,
what's crazier
that goes to the recent, and I'm sure you're probably going to bring this up, but the Dan Scavino post where he's talking about TikTok. And I told one of my friends, one of my magical internet friends, I said, well, TikTok was the name of the metal military guy in the book series, The Wizard of Oz. It was TikTok. And I shared the little picture of him and all that. He's a little like Chubbers, you know, cute little cop, and he's copper. He's all copper. Yeah.
He made it into the little known about second Wizard of Oz movie that Disney made in the 80s. Did you ever see that? It's a weird one.
It's the one with Michael Jackson in it.
Yeah.
And how weird that Michael Jackson, these new documentaries of Michael Jackson are coming out now and all that. Yep. It's pretty scary though.
Oh, and Michael Jackson's nephew playing him in a movie about himself, like that was pretty weird. He did a bang up job playing his uncle in the movie. He's a very good likeness of his uncle.
Yeah, they did a good job with that. But I did think that was interesting as far as timing wise. And then that Wizard of Oz movie, and it's like called Return to Oz, I think.
That's what it is. Yeah.
One.
Yep.
But it's scary. Do not let children watch it.
Well, it's not. It's scary in the vein that like the Never-Ending Story or Dark Crystal, or it's like one of those. It's like one of those darker Jim Henson movies.
It's scary.
It's still definitely a kids movie, but it's a little bit more. It's got some harder edges to it, let's say. But I mean, talking about that, the Never-Ending Story where the horse dies. Oh my God, I was traumatized as a kid. Like I was so sad every time I'd watch that. Like, no, the horse is gonna die. Remember it gets stuck in the quicksand or whatever. I don't know if you've seen the movie, but Never-Ending Story is great. It's an all-time classic. But so yeah, we have now this Intrepid watch pop into the equation. Again, this is rapid succession. This is maybe a week after these events, the crashing of the Spanish ship on the bridge where the helicopter crashed in front of the statue. In Pier 17 is where the ship was docked, and
where the
all this weird shit.
Yeah.
And we all of a sudden get this watch re-release from JFK Jr. come out. And the same week as that, we have this promotional thing where Trump is holding up in one of these White House posts. All of a sudden, he's like holding up this FIFA trophy one day, this redesign of the FIFA Club Championship World Cup trophy for the club teams, not the national teams.
Right.
Doesn't have nearly as much fanfare, but the U.S. hosted the football club, the FIFA FC World Cup last year too. And this was the redesign for the trophy, which was an armillary sphere. An armillary sphere is an astrological device that is basically a compass for the stars. And it's a tracking device of sorts. And they built this in as the FIFA trophy. And we're going to see that in a Dan Scavino post later too. But here's all the context that's kind of wrapping up, guys, 2 years later. It's kind of what I'm saying. So that trophy was used as a side note for the championship that was played here in the United States also, where Chelsea won the FC World Cup in 2025. Trump presented the trophy for this also when they won, and it was one of those armillary sphere trophies. Trump got to keep one. He's got in the Oval Office, kind of like a ceremonial one, but he gave the very first redesign for the FIFA FC World Cup trophy to Chelsea. On what day? July 13th, 2025. 1 year to the day after the Butler, Pennsylvania incident. So this is a consequential thing. But remember, we found out about all this in April. And April is when all this shit's unfolding. So we now have the FIFA FC trophy. One of the most famous people in FIFA FC just died in a helicopter crash ritualistically the week before. Barcelona, which is in the capital city of Spain. Some people might see where I'm foreshadowing with this. Everybody knows who won the World Cup national team victory trophy last week, Spain. And we hadn't yet figured out where the Intrepid watch went until, when I started digging into this, I found out that there was actually a museum called the Intrepid Museum, which is a retired aircraft carrier that they've hollowed out and made a museum out of, and parked on the Hudson River off of Pier 88, right next to the same bridge where the Spanish ship crashed, where the helicopter crashed. And it's called the Intrepid, just like JFK Jr.'s watch, which ties again all back to Q, Pier 17. Okay, what the fuck's going on here?
Is there any connection for Chelsea Clinton and
Maybe. I haven't looked that far yet. I haven't looked really what Chelsea as a football team has to do with it. But it's to me, it's more noteworthy that he gave the trophy on July 13th, the year after the Butler, Pennsylvania assassination attempt. So why Pier 88 is important, where the Intrepid Museum was parked, of course, is because 88 denotes time. That's the ritualized gematria for time, because it takes on, just like an armillary sphere could track if you wanted it to, the sun and the moon both make a figure 8 in a complete revolution. 28 days for the moon to make a figure 8 pattern in the sky, 365 days for the sun. But that's how you track time. 88 is your ritualistic number for time. And what do you know, on the inside of that Intrepid Museum is the main exhibit, which is about Apollo 11. It's an Apollo 11 moon landing exhibit. And so what's weird even further is that the Wolverine comic came into it, where the release date of the comic coincided with the opening date of the Intrepid Museum back in 1983. Okay. It was the exact same date. So the comic released and the Intrepid Museum opened on the same day. So we're starting to tie together all of these relevant weird spellcasting threads at that point. And that's kind of where we anchored these weird spells that tie all of this mind control defragging that the Trump associated faction is doing. I figure this is, our operating theory anyway. So this last week, we have this same period of time, July 13th through the 20th. The 20th is always the moon landing day, and the 13th will now always be the Butler, Pennsylvania day. So there's kind of this weird week every year where things happen. This last time, Trump spoke to the nation and did the whole election fraud thing, which was consequent to what we were talking about last week with the countdown clock on the Ingersoll Lockwood website, 1717 Washington Street, or Pennsylvania Street in Washington, D.C. Pennsylvania, for your Butler, PA tie-in, the Keystone State, blah, 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 blah. Interesting shit that the Ingersoll Lockwood headquarters is 1717 Pennsylvania Street in Washington, D.C. But the speech that he gave fell right in that same date range. It just happened to be the 27th anniversary of JFK Jr.'s supposed death when he died in 1999, to the day. It was also a countdown clock that was associated for some reason. We were looking at it over a year ago, wondering what it was counting down toward. So this countdown clock was counting down oddly for over a year toward marking this date where Trump was going to give a speech. And so, right alongside that, what do you know? The World Cup, Spain wins. In the Hudson River, what do you know? You have a ritual going on with the Statue of Liberty. So, Lisa, I put to bring the audience okay, we can show some visuals now, I figure, because the review has got to be, just a little bit dry for people. But I put a sequence of tweets in the chat. If we could start pulling them up and showing people the relevant things that happened this year, 2026, between the 13th and the 20th, to show how this all ties together with the VSTEG, and perhaps where our next chapter is we're facing. So first and foremost, I don't know if anybody saw it, but on the FIFA game, the opening ceremony had a Louis Vuitton trunk case with the letter V very prominently displayed on the outside, where they revealed the victory trophies. Remember the victory aspect of things with the Washington Monument and the Victory Day rituals associated with that, the Correspondence Dinner, where Vivi and Victory were both written on those notes with Oz, the magician, that night. Second, there's the second link I think I put up there, Lisa, is more of a close-up of the trunk for people to see, to be frank. If you click on the second one, it's the armillary sphere. So this is the actual presentation in July 13th of 2025 of Trump giving the armillary sphere trophy to the first part to Chelsea after winning. And look, they made a big display out of the trophy behind him. And not a lot of people remember this, I don't think. I don't know. I don't know if it just didn't get the advertising budget probably either, because it wasn't the 250th anniversary for the United States last year. It was, a little bit of a different.
Said they're club teams. It's not the.
That's right. But they're still part of the FIFA organization. Yeah. So it's still FIFA. And to be clear, again, the Barcelona FC heiress that died in the helicopter crash, she would have been the heiress of Barcelona FC, and they participate in the FC World Cup. So down below that, the next one down, the third tweet down. Mm-hmm. Did you catch this? This was at the World Cup. This was a photo that was taken of Barron.
Each is yours.
The stage is yours. You didn't see this yet?
No, that's hilarious.
Trump's looking up at him, and this is an Ingersoll Lockwood hit too, because of, the marvelous adventures of Barron Trump.
Uh-huh.
And then this whole last president aspect of things. What will Barron do? Will he be the next whatever? He's going to be the chancellor of the Fourth Reich. There will be no president.
The King of Scotland.
Yeah. But I thought this was an interesting photo, honestly, that came out of the event itself. This was at the FIFA Championship this last year.
Okay.
And the guy in the foreground is the president of the FIFA organization.
Or
so
JFK Jr. We don't know.
Yeah. So the stage is yours. This was
It's again the same thing.
that was that again.
For
The victory trophy itself is one of the key markers for the V-Stag.
There's the close-up you did.
There's the close-up. LV for Louis Vuitton, the name of the case. LV, as they're often pronounced in shorthand. That's Roman numerals for 55 also. So there's the V on the case. There's the 55 numerology that so famously is associated with it. Like we already talked about the 55th moon landing anniversary on July 20th, 2024, that week of the Butler, Pennsylvania assassination attempt. And before we go any further, I'd be remiss not to also talk about the RNC, the national convention that happened that week. Back in 2024, in July 13th and the 20th time period, the RNC happened. It was famously Trump's first public appearance since the assassination attempt. It's where he wore the bandage. He wore the ritual bandage on his ear. Hulk Hogan made an appearance to tie in the kayfabe aspect of it. However, the part that most people didn't see was the intro animation video, which was closed out with a computer graphic that had a bat signal that went up into the clouds and revealed the words Trump. But it was a clear call, Gotham City, dark at night, rainy. And the bat signal points up into the sky, and instead of the bat signal, you got Trump. And we don't need to get into all the Batman aspects of the V-Stag. Batman is a very big part of the V-Stag.
And we just had another nod to that with it when Dan Scavino scanned the room and the bell came up and the Batman flashed.
Yeah, well, yeah, I want to get to that too here in a sec because foreshadowing. But to tie in the Hudson River stuff with the soccer, click on the link that you see the X link that says Football Hub on it. Click that one. Statue of Liberty is in the Hudson River, everyone, right in the flight path of the helicopter, right next to where the Spanish ship on Pier 17 was docked. What they did this year on the weekend that the FIFA World Cup Championship game was held is they adorned the Statue of Liberty with a big jersey. This isn't AI. They actually did this. They put a big fabric jersey. What? Yeah.
I did not hear about this at all.
You can find people taking videos of it that visited the Statue of Liberty that day. It's like flapping in the wind. It's just like big fabric material. And they put a casing over the torch to have the victory trophy up there.
To put the trophy in.
Yeah. Right in the middle of the Hudson River, ground zero for the ritual itself, right?
That is terrible. Okay. Also, the statue, if you look at what the Statue of Liberty may represent, Luciferian, all that.
It's something to it's well
something to consider.
Remember the peace dollar, the Liberty peace dollar with Lady Liberty's head and trust written with a V instead of a U. In God we trust with a V, not a U. That's on the Liberty peace dollar. There's some monetary aspects to this too. We're not blind to these, the monetary reset aspects of all these. But this year in particular, instead of the FIFA championship being on the 13th, it was on the 20th. So it was on the day that they did the moon landing. And you probably saw also the White House post where Trump was putting the second place medals on Argentina.
And if you look at, do I still have the one up with the jersey?
Yes, you do.
That's Argentina, I guess, on the other side.
Argentina's on the other side.
Yeah. And so then you nod to this one. So
very prominent 17 numerology. This is a White House account post. And that's the second place trophy, the second place medals, right? So there's a lot of a lot of key markers in the VSTAG. If we're 40 minutes into this video doing all this review, almost to point again to the fact that the reason why this key ritual is pointed to, we're not done with it yet, I don't think. It's all a tapestry. Astrology is involved, obviously, with the armillary sphere as a nod. The VSTAG is just, it's ridiculous. I mean, as we're about to see in these Dan Scavino posts over the last couple of days, the final link is that little video that he gave of a tour of the White House. And he posted this also on the 20th. He posted this on the 21st, I guess, a couple of nights ago. So everybody who hasn't seen this is just a little video where Dan Scavino very slowly scans all the little minute details and artifacts of the Oval Office. These little planes say boom on them, just like the Q posts say boom, boom, boom. You've got all the gold and, of course, all the people that are influencing the policy making of this administration on the wall. I don't know whose bust that is.
I don't either. Those are so creepy looking. But
I need to do some more research on some of the portrait pictures, because this is going to be a significant post that we go back to for reference. There's a clock very clearly demonstrated, and then the bell with the Batman logo that just flashes for a second right there. Do you see that?
And the clock was the one that he took out of Rubio's office. Whose office did he take that out of?
Remember I don't know. You know more about that than I do.
Okay, so there's a tradition that if a king or queen visits somebody and says, "Oh, I really like these dishes," you have to give them whatever it is that they liked as a gift.
Okay.
And so he was in, I think, Rubio's office and said, "Oh, I really like that clock." And he's like, "Oh, sir, not the clock." And so he was gifted the clock, which, maybe a nod to him being a king. Maybe it's a nod to the time ritual thing.
I think it's definitely a nod to the time ritual.
Lots of those things. So,
but the bell is new for the listenership here as far as it relates to the VSTAG, as we talked about deeply a couple episodes ago, with NASA's involvement, Kurt Davis, the Nazi Bell program, the plasma drives, the harmonics, the cymatics, the ways that you can break the manifestation of plasma and the demons that may come with it with bells. What does Batman do? He faces his own demons. He's all about facing the trauma within him. That's what all of his enemies represent.
And the Batman symbol comes up during the 45-second.
During the 45-second, yeah.
Into the 46, yeah.
Which, again, I forgot to mention, and there's your armillary sphere trophy. You see that? That happened at 55 seconds. The armillary sphere trophy comes in at 55 seconds. And we have to remember the Intrepid Museum
53
sits on 46th Street, right in between 45th and 47th Streets. So there's that aspect to the Intrepid Museum on Pier 88 also.
Armillaries comes in at like 50. 50.
52.
No, 50. There's 51.
I guess it first comes into frame at 50. You're right.
Yeah.
It's centered at about 52.
Or 53, which could be 35 reversed.
And then you got Lincoln and some more models. Everything in this little clip is symbolic. Everything. And a lot of it we see just, as hits, as nods to the VSTAG. But he's been pretty active. As you mentioned earlier, he's been pretty active with a lot of symbolism this week, not just this post. But
I'm trying to see if I can find the TikTok one.
He had the TikTok mention, yeah.
I think it was on his other account. The other thing he showed on his other account was the final. Did you see the final? And it had a flyover. Hold on.
Oh, at the World Cup, yeah. The Marine One flew right over the top of the words that said the final.
The final. Right here, you can see the final. the final at the end of the video. There's also, this was on July 22nd. But where was the one where he said the TikTok thing?
He had a TikTok reference in one of these things that you showed me earlier in the week, and
Yeah.
I didn't save it.
Oh, the strike one too. So I was thinking this strike is more to do with Strike, the payment system app, which is, you know, part of Jack Mahler's, you know, formerly ex person or whatever. And what's weird is like the same day or a couple days before, I got like a notification or something through my email telling me to like re-up my Strike account, which I didn't even remember setting it up, to be honest. It's been so many years. But that happened on the 17th. I don't know where that TikTok video is where he says, dang, I don't know. Sorry, guys. Well, we'll find it somewhere. But
White House Deputy Chief offers a tour.
I'm going to look at our text.
No.
It'll be in our text.
Yeah. I don't see it.
Oh, here it is. Hold on, I'm going to have to change over to this. Okay. Share screen. All these little, if you guys knew all the buttons I pushed back here. Okay. This was me showing the military man. Oh, it was OG Anon 661. He is a great guy to follow. Follow him. Also follow him on True Social. But this is the video where it says, he goes, I'm starting to wonder if all these TikTok ads from Trump administration are actually code for a literal TikTok countdown. And, you know, you had talked on Ingersoll just right before this. It was a countdown because that's when then Trump did his
That's what we mentioned. Yeah. The Ingersoll countdown ended with Trump's proclamations of election fraud and showing the evidence. Go look at it.
And this video is Mark Wayne Mullins. Sorry, but Dan Scavino did retweet this. That's where I'm getting too confused. I'm sorry. So
that's what it was. He retweeted it.
Yeah. Talking about TikTok, and he says, "Do I have the ball?" And they throw him like a little. I don't know if it's a tennis ball or no, it's too small, like a golf ball. Or something.
Where's my ball?
Where's my ball?
Okay, well, I guess we're on TikTok.
And then that's all he says. I guess we're on TikTok. And they show like a copper round surface.
Yeah, the seal turned copper, didn't it?
It turns copper, just like TikTok.
Okay, well.
TikTok, the character in the Wizard of Oz novels.
Mm-hmm. So, just this is the character, and he's a little copper pot guy. So
he's an automaton.
Automaton. Okay. So quite interesting. Which that kind of takes us to the countdown, Ingersoll Lockwood, and the latest find that you found that I haven't even seen yet. Do I go to?
Yeah, this will be fun. Pull up first and foremost the website for Ingersoll Lockwood.
Okay.
It's 3 L's in a row. Ingersoll Lockwood.
Yeah, I have it.
Because there's a fake account that masquerades with the 2 L's out there.
Why is it not showing? Oh, because I don't have it add to stage. Okay. Add to stage.
So the countdown's now gone. We don't have our World's Fair language on there either. I still think that's coming. Whatever iteration of World's Fair implementation happens between now and March, because that was when the image of the World's Fair was there. They were trying to say, coming between July 4th and March 31st. So below that, you have this new image. Okay. If you're not familiar with what the website holds on this spot most of the time, it is a UFO. They always have a little UFO image here.
This is Hey Boo Boo, like what's his name?
Hey Boo Boo. It's a
Yeah.
picnic basket. Yeah.
Yes. And what
Yogi
is
the Bear. Yep.
powdered benzene, powered by benzene, acrolein, formaldehyde, hydrogen, cyanide, chlorine compounds, dioxins, and trace minerals.
Right. So this is the image that's there on the website. There's always a little UFO there that ties it into the Space Force themes. It's also a recruiting mechanism for Space Force, this little site.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a hyperlink. Click on it.
Oh, are you seeing it? It goes to Daily Mail. Sinister
Yes.
reason, toxic haze, smells of burning plastic, expert warn of deadly health risks, chemical filled wildfire smokes blanketing the US.
So this talks about all of the chemical bullshit that people are breathing in with these fires. And this article hits the same day that Trump says we're under attack by Canada, saying they're attacking us with poisonous substances. What I'm tying together with this is they're obviously whoever our counterfaction is to the Trump wizards, you know, it's like wizards and sorcerers, like Jedi and Sith, as I always put it, kind of like if you just frame it like Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
We have a clear indication that the buttheads that we're fighting against, they still have access to the space tech too. And that's unfortunate because they can start fires like this with them. It's not the same laser tech that they're tearing houses and shit apart with, but they have a whole array of stuff in space. And I postulate that if these are caused, like Trump is suggesting, by the alternative faction deliberately, that they're using the space technology to do it. They're creating these huge fire lines that are creating tons of smoke that's coming up. And I think it might be a warning of sorts of this alternative faction, if that's the case, that states, don't fuck with us, we'll use the weapons. And we're getting into this new little phase of war here. You know, Space Force is up there doing what they can. Down on the ground, this administration is doing a really, really spectacular job about taking actions within the constitutional framework. Even if the enemy is not tied to those dictates because they don't give a shit, they clearly do. The Trump faction does, which is important for the integrity of the actions being taken if any of the public that disbelieves them now is ever going to trust them in the future. I think if you always look back and state what you can do constitutionally within those legal frameworks, I think there's an integrity aspect to that. If JFK Jr. is involved with this, there's a watermark of sorts, the lawyer of it all, right? He was a brilliant lawyer. Just knew the entire doctrine of the legal system back, front and back, like just exploited it to the maximum efficiency possible. RFK is pretty good too, but JFK Jr. was, RFK Jr., but JFK Jr. was brilliant at it. So if he's really involved with this whole Q apparatus, you have them calling out instead of going and attacking anything up. I still don't have any clue as to what's going on operationally up in space. Is Space Force involved? What phase of that are we in? We can't see all that. All we can really get is the artifacts down here on the ground. But it's important that Trump is calling them out publicly, Canada, for an attack on us and our health by way of this atrocity of the wildfire. And I think it's going to be key. It's going to be key to what happens next with Canada, a Commonwealth country who's owned by the Bank of London. And if we've just rendered the Bank of London with our military efforts in Iran headless, then what do we do with Canada? I think this was why Trump was starting to talk about earlier in the year, basically absorbing Canada in the United States, because they don't have enough industry to support themselves. They would always have to be a vassal state of ours that was importing only. And if they're now disconnected from Commonwealth money magic,
Wow.
they're going to have to do something to absorb all of that in. And I think this might be a tantrum too, if that's also the case. That faction, maybe knowing that they will be losing Canada soon, don't want to just hand over pristine lands to the United States.
Well,
They
and if
wanna-
you look at the group, is it Alberta? There's an area in Canada that has the votes to vote to secede, and it's the part of
Yeah.
Canada that has all the oil, all the
Yeah.
wealth.
Yes.
Yeah.
If anybody's going to come in first, it's going to be Alberta and BC, Vancouver, BC.
Mhm.
Vancouver, BC is a city. British Columbia is a landmass. Vancouver Island is part of BC. So I always get them all mixed up.
It's fine.
But West Coast, that's your connection to Alaska too. If you get Alberta and British Columbia,
Yeah.
you can tell the population centers to fuck off for a while they squirm and resist it,
Mhm.
and just build your Keystone pipeline. There's your word. There's your
There's the
Keystone
Keystone.
meme again.
Yep.
Your XL Keystone pipeline. So yeah, this is all going to unfold as it's going to unfold in favor of the operation that's being cast
Mhm.
upon our minds and the operational effort of the military to support it here in the United States. But I think these are all key aspects of it. You know, we have this weird Ingersoll Lockwood thread that ties the Q and the
So
VSTEG both together in the middle, you know? Pretty interesting, huh?
It's very interesting. I love I love all the little, what do they call them? Easter eggs.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
That they put in their websites, or we see in different comms, ads, videos, all of it.
Yeah. I'll tell you, I found a really cool Easter egg on their Twitter too. If you just pull up the Ingersoll Lockwood Twitter, go ahead and pull it up. It's not, they don't post very often,
Okay.
but I thought it was pretty funny when I was just perusing it the other day.
Share this tab instead.
Excuse me.
And let's see, we'll look for, oh dang, it's gonna try to kick me out.
Kick you out? Why does it want to kick you out?
Oh, because it's just a whole thing. I don't have my certain X account on this device, and so it's a long story. It tries to get me to re-log in all the time. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Ingersoll Lockwood.
There you go. Ingersoll Lockwood Inc. All right. So you'll notice they're promoting the Young Washington series.
I haven't watched that yet.
I haven't either, but I was compelled to maybe I'll watch. I don't have an Angel account, but my dad does. Then they also did the heavy pulp video like Elon did. I didn't know that they posted that on that same day, on July 4th. But they did. So keep scrolling down. They don't post a lot. Like I said, then May 26th was the one previous to that.
About aliens.
About aliens. That was when the UFO drops were happening.
Yeah.
So they were right on the meme with the UFO drops.
Mhm.
And then before that, they were talking crypto and digital privacy.
Which is interesting because on their website they say we don't have a token and we don't have.
They don't. They're just promoting the concept of it.
Yeah. Master AI before it masters you. Reclaim sovereignty. That's interesting.
And then below the fold, they've got, some UFO type documents. And then you see the one right below that. You see that little link?
Mhm.
Yeah. So that they had that. Remember how I told you in the spot where we found the Habubu
Hey boo boo. Yeah.
Canadian one?
Mhm.
They had a Nazi Teutonic one on there for a while too. Right around the time where
Or rain savers contest.
that's why I wanted to show you. This is actually kind of cool. Like, so this is what caught my attention. And I was like, oh yeah, I forgot that they had that on there, and I forgot to go investigate more as to why. I think I know why, is because of course we have paper clippers running Huntsville.
Yeah.
And they're collaborating with our military for a very specific purpose to go after space aliens. And we don't really grasp the entirety of what the post-World War II stuff was all about. I've argued that, you know, is probably one of these things. People are going to get their brains exploded by the time they realize the Germans. Yeah, there were plenty of bad people in Germany too, bad actors and shit. It was a war. And so you had the Fabian Society and all sorts of hands, and mainly in Winston Churchill and FDR's pockets, trying to fabricate results of the war. Meanwhile, the Germans are just going and taking up the hermetic sciences of the past, refabricating UFOs, and going after the Selenites in the moon, as far as I can tell, as stage one of an offensive out into space. So the Rain Savers thing, though, click on that. Pull it up. It's pretty interesting.
Let's see.
The Rain Saver, the first link you see, Rain Saver down the yeah. So this was a kids initiative. This is a PSYOP, a positive PSYOP for kids. They wrote a bunch of novels. This S.G. Samuels person, he wrote a bunch of like preteen novels. You know how they have those preteen novels that are just like Perseus and the Olympians and blah, blah, blah. It's kind of like that age group, like junior high kids. But they're about correctly framed historical concepts. I mean, go up to the summary and just like read the summary. It's interesting.
It even says the first successful 3 patriots will receive 1 autographed paperback.
Yeah, well, this is a contest. They're having the kids read the red pill contest. I found this fascinating. It's over. It was long over by the time I stumbled across this. But back in March,
April 18th,
I'll be damned, you know? Yeah, April. The Ingersoll Lockwood Twitter was promoting these books, and by way of reading the books, the kids as readers were supposed to find red pills, and it was like this digital quest thing that they could do. And they were supposed to use context clues in the book to describe anomalies of, you know, they're training the minds of young kids how to decode,
how to find comms
in front of them, right? It's kind of cool. It's like it's, and I realized they're doing this on so many levels right now. They're not just you and I are doing,
I don't know how to.
they're going after the kids too.
Yeah.
That was just the website. It has like a little music fucking.
There's no like volume thing on it though. I can't turn it off. So
yeah. But I mean, the Rain Savers. I don't know what that's in reference to. If it's like I don't know. I don't know what the Rain Savers mean.
With the
watch the water, maybe.
Watch the water. Also, just we have this big heat wave right now, and I mean, all the fires, all that, like the timing of it is, I'm sure, not a mistake. But very interesting. The first one is called Primal Awakening.
Yeah, and it looks like they've got like this baby orangutan sidekick in him. Also, that orangutan character looks like it's on the cover of every single one.
Yeah, he is. And then Black Rain, Tempest of Crimson Skies. That's what we're seeing right now with all the smoke.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe there's something to that.
Crimson Skies.
And then the shadow of the moon, the beings on the moon, right? The Selenites, ooh, the Germans went after. Like, and look, they've got like a wizard guy, literal wizard, like Gandalf, like a modern wizard with his staff and shit. That's
yeah, it looks like Uncle Cliff with a long beard.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
The wizards and
the V right here.
Yeah, that's a good find. I didn't see that, but you're right. There it is. You've got the V-steg for the Selenites there. The Germans are involved, guys. The Germans are involved with our military, and they're not the bad guys. We must. The ones that broke away. I can't speak for every German in World War II. the faction of breakaway Germans that we have now are in cahoots with our military and have been since the paperclip program. Not to our detriment either, I would suspect. This is all for the time we're living in, for our very survival. This is important shit.
I love it.
The V-Steg never fails, huh?
It lines up. It lines up for sure. Well, that was fun. I love doing that one. And we're kind of in a new point of time. I guess it's always progressing. Forget time, because that's part of the ritual.
Until the spell is broken. We're still, I mean, you and I see past the spell, but we got to remember these rituals, they're actually for the normies more than they are for us. We can help them along by helping them decode all these glyphs and shit along the way that tie the tapestry together. But just their impressions from watching it all unfold, if they're watching it all, is progress. At least it's an attempt at progress. It's a shift to the Overton window. If their reality is just incrementally moving them in, associating it with these common threads like the V, like Batman, like the FIFA World Cup and time,
The V
eventually time will find its way out of our perceptive control. Time will lose its ability to maintain perceptive control, I think, is how I should more appropriately say it. But we're not going to be there for a while.
It's a control system, and it's how they steal our energy by getting us to value ourselves, our energy, our contribution, our effort in time, and then lock it into their centralized banking system.
Well, this is where I'm pretty convinced, Lisa, this is the falling out of time meme that Cliff came across with his language. I mean, if we have this conversation at large, I think it would be great to be able to validate it with Cliff, these concepts, and get his take on it, because that falling out of time thing will pick up acceleration because of the audience that he has,
because of acknowledging
and
it,
the understanding that he can now give to the audience to suggest this is how you can supercharge your own falling out of time. You have to fall out of the time spell, in other words, right? And how do you do that?
Yeah.
Well, you listened to his JC work the other day, right? Did you listen to the Beyond Mystic conversation that he had? Remember when he was describing at the beginning, there are people who are guiding events in a way to impress upon the people the scope of themes that they should see, kind of a thing. Like I forgot how he described it with his language, but it was to the effect that in order to get people manifesting the same thing in the same direction, right? You have to have a common lexicon, a common language, a common understanding, right? And you can't actually manifest very well when you have a bunch of disparate minds that are competing for their desires, because that will just cause certain manifestations. And so causing chaos for chaos's sake, works to the Sith or the sorcerer's advantage that doesn't want cohesion with thoughts. Because if you've got a bajillion different ideas about what reality is, it's really, really hard to maintain the actual common thread of the Hara line, your center, like he said, right? So the V-Steg, the themes, the Q posts, all these things along the way that tie together slowly, this common thread starts to coalesce as it collects more minds, and more minds can understand the thread that's being spoken to them through the revolutionary poet Q, the V-Steg, the faction of Templars, Cathars that are probably casting all of it, right? If you can catch that thread and maintain it with your own desires, you supercharge the effort. You become part of the manifestation army that has the same cohesive thought, if you can understand it better, right? So if everybody can understand all at once, or as much as we can all at once, that they should aim to fall out of time, here's how you can identify it. Look for the markers, look for the VSTAG, look for the themes that are common, that keep being dropped from the same faction, from the same source. Templars, Cathars, the people that back Trump,
Right.
the self-organizing collective, as Cliff has called them, right? It's the same folks.
Yep.
That is the war that's being played right now. The daylight savings becomes one of the bigger initiatives that you can possibly cast into that realm if you're trying to get everybody manifesting the same general desires. That it's one of the reasons why the whole Epstein file thing is still lingering, I think, too. Nobody really knows what to desire with that. Think of how chaotic that topic is still. There's no resolution to it. There's answers, but there's no resolution. There's perception. They put Palm Beach Pete into the fucking equation for, Palm Beach Pete, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
He purchased Jeffrey Epstein's flat in New York this week.
Stop it.
I'm
well,
serious.
He won the lottery right after Epstein died. So actually,
and Epstein, also, by the way, Epstein himself won the Powerball for $85 million in 2008.
It wasn't really Epstein. It was the Zorro Ranch Trust.
Right. Well, come on now. Yeah, right. But if you think Powerball isn't rigged, oh yeah, Jeffrey Epstein won.
Don't ever get another lottery ticket in your life, because also there was some mayor's brother or something just won one as well, or something like that.
Yeah.
I can't remember the story, but anyway, it's all rigged. The FIFA was rigged. All the UFC.
Well, of course it was rigged. It was rigged in service of the whole ritual, though, to this wake up ritual from the VSTAG.
Well, it's just that, but there's also a shame ritual in that, and with the UFC fights and all that, of taking people, these people betting and getting their emotions all up, and then it's all rigged, and they loose you, and they take your energy, and they take your dirty feet out too. Yeah, so just don't do it, people. I do have one announcement before we go.
Yeah.
It's like Marco is in the chat over on VE Test in my creators live chat tier that is free to join, other than the platform fees, like 30 cents or something. So jump over there, please join, scan my QR code and meet us over there. Right now I'm having I've been asked to have a challenge to get 30 signups in 30 days. And it's just an email, and you create a password. You can sign up with me to help you hook up a wallet if you need help later. But check all that out, please. And Marco says they're talking about adding an opportunity, adding more coins for the intent room, which is like where it's a free market peer-to-peer.
For swapping, the swapping area.
Trading, with swapping, trading, bartering, actually, because it's peer-to-peer. It's not through a DEX. It's two people interacting, and they decide what
it's like trading cards when you were a kid.
Value.
I'll take the Griffey, and you can give me the Wade Boggs and the
and
the Daryl Strawberry.
So it looks like Marco has added the request to choose the real Litecoin, and anything against LitVM, but we have enough derivative fake things in the world. So let's.
He added Litecoin though.
He is. It's captured as a backlog item, and he made a ticket. So they're going to add Litecoin to supported assets in Intents and the premium Intents.
That would be my preference. I mean, I don't think there's any. It's no secret. Like that's my preference, is to get those transaction hash volumes up on the Litecoin network.
Absolutely. All right. So big news. You guys heard it here. Please check out, I've got some instructions in this video if you're watching it not on VE Test, so that you can join us on VE Test in the creators room, and your chat will show up down here when you're chatting with us during the live shows. So we're moving that direction. We want to be peer-to-peer. We want opportunities for free markets for everybody, get rid of the middlemen. And to do that, we're going to use Reggie Middleton's patents on VE Test. So join us over there. And thanks, Ben. That was fun. I loved getting through all that.
And buy Veritasium Smart Metal too. You're welcome.
That's right.
But if
You
you want
can-
access to the chat bot, which Reggie demoed this last week, pretty cool.
Yeah.
That it's a true like live inferencing engine that's being made. It's not like every other large language model out there. His AI, it looks like it's going to be superior in terms of its ability to be an assistant. And
It's very interesting because he uses multiple models to kind of clean up, talk to each other, and check as well.
Yeah.
And so
it's brilliantly built. I mean, there's going to be one more thought, I guess. Do we have time? Do you have time for like one more second of thought? Have you this is a point I don't think very many people grasp, is the amount of data a large language model like even Gemini, which is Google's, or ChatGPT's, which is OpenAI's, even Grok. Grok is great. It's the good one because it's actually reading what people's stream of consciousness is on
the human
X posts.
Experience, yeah.
But the indexing that's done on the internet is dog shit. Like, do you know what I mean by this?
No.
Okay, so
I do not.
pull up a Google search bar. I want to show you this. Like, this is perhaps why, maybe namely one of the main reasons why Reggie's tech, as far as I see it, will be superior to anything that can get drummed up. So just go to a Google search, like hit the Google link, go to the main page. And the idea here is for me to demonstrate how limited of a search universe Google has anymore. Do you remember the old days where you could search on Yahoo and you'd be like, there are 1 billion results, and you'd scroll and you'd scroll and you'd scroll, and you'd find blogs on such disparate topics. You'd find BBS boards, which are message boards, and the internet in the old days was just a playground of endless opportunity. You could get anywhere with it. It's not the case anymore. Any general topic that you can possibly search for in Google is vastly limited in the reach of the pages that pull up on a standard search. So this would be one of those predominant reasons why you want to use Yandex anyway. Like, just use the Yandex browser or Yandex search tool. But you're into like antiques, right? So you could use crypto, you could use cars, you could use just any old general thing. I would put something even more general than this, just to be demonstrative of the limitations of a search engine.
Right.
I'd say just like a broad topic like antiques, and just hit search. Okay. Now scroll all the way to the bottom. We clearly know that there are, location specific things, but it starts pulling up on here, top 10 places near you. These are all search engine optimized, paid for advertising links that the search words have been purchased so that they rank first, right? But you start going down, like that's known now. That's part of what the algorithm of the internet is all paid for. But just go all the way to page 10. And then just scroll all the way down. See, it's got more stores, more stuff further away from you, probably more shopping, whatever. Hit page 4, but I want you to reach the end of this page. Hit 14, scroll all the way to the bottom, and just keep going to the end for a minute here. Yep, page 22, 26, 30.
Will there be an end?
There will. That's what I'm going to share with you. This is the crazy. If you've never 38, 42, 45. There's 45. The end of the internet, Lisa. Here's the end of the internet. 45 pages of results. That's all they'll fucking give you for any topic. It always cuts off here. So go down though and read the language that they show you. In order to show you the most relevant results, it says, we have omitted some entries very similar to the 450 already displayed. If you like, you can repeat the searches with the omitted search results included. So you're like, sure. When I just searched antiques, you told me there were billions of responsive results. I don't want to be limited to just 450. So unlimit me, right?
Yeah.
Now scroll down.
Oh dear God.
Do it again.
Oh Lord.
And so, ideally what you just did was you're like, yeah, give me all my billions of search results, right?
Mm-hmm. Let's see how many it goes. Interesting number though, 45.
Yeah.
That's Trump's number. And
46.
46,
Oh,
49.
baby. 49.
49. That's it.
Oh, wow. Another 4 pages it gave us, Lisa. That's the whole internet, right? Like,
That's crazy. Yeah.
this is a really this is a demonstrative thing you can do with anybody over the kitchen table, right? And illustrate to them the large language models that you access, even for search engines, they only have access to those 49 pages of topics on antiques. It's not going all the way into the drudges of the internet back to circa 1990 and pulling up any page of any off the cuff researcher who's an X-Files guy in his basement typing about shit and giving you the real context of things. The indexing is key. AI tools as large language models that only use the searchable indexed internet are shorthanded to the max. They will not be able to surface context with real meaning. If you're going to go research something like ancient Earth history, for instance, you're going to get mainstreamed the fuck out of it.
Yeah.
And you're going to have a conversation arguing with the AI because it doesn't index the proper information in the language model.
The guys on WBRT this morning were talking about just this issue with AI,
really?
Because AI will now put, almost every AI will put this, if you ask about health or anything, it puts this, the first thing it does is like, there's no information for that. I don't know. And I'm not a doctor. You should see a doctor. Like, it refers you instead of like where it used to be that you looked stuff up and it gave you whatever information was out there. Now they're putting these disclaimers, which to Greg's, I think it was Greg's point, was you cannot do that and say that you are protected by section what is it, 230?
Yeah. Because
you're altering the results. You're not just being a pin board or whatever.
Google and other search engine providers make a conscious decision to index 1.5%, if that, of the maximum amount of the internet. It will still show you if you on that searching antiques, it'll still show you that bullshit line underneath the search results right after you hit search. It says there are 94 billion search results on the internet responsive to antiques.
But then it doesn't show me.
But then it doesn't show it to you because it doesn't index any of that. So it's not accessible unless you tell your browser to go to the exact URL. You can go there. You can go to all of those areas in the internet. It's not like they're offline, but a search engine isn't going to guide you there. You have to know the exact URL address.
Right. It's not going to serve it to you.
Right. So something to keep in mind. This is, again, it's a key thing. If Reggie's bot in his AI analysis tool will do what it says it will, it'll be able to learn stuff. You'll be able to tell it, hey, I want you to use the Yandex search engine only and show me the results or something, right?
And it doesn't forget. That's the other big thing. Right now, it doesn't
hallucinate as easy because it remembers
your history,
those markers
of your engagement, and it learns from your engagement and all that, which is huge. So and right now he said that he was going to be offering kind of like a first dibs to NFT holders is what he said, which you can go on vetest.app and there is a way to buy smart metals. Very easy. And I can help you with that. In fact, I think I just did a video on that and posted it on Rumble, YouTube, and on Vetest. So you can go on there and pay with crypto. And so talk about having like some serious freedom money outside the traditional rails. So you can pay with crypto, you can get your smart metal, grab your NFT, and then be ready for when Reggie releases the AI to everybody. So
And he makes enough money on that to where he can reinsert himself back into dominance and rule
That's
the
what
world.
I'm hoping so.
All hail King Reggie.
He doesn't want to rule anything. He is so he is a really humble, kind person.
I know. But that's the whole thing. Like the reluctant king is always the best king because he's always, he's always the one that has the. I kid.
He's a servant. Yeah, he would not.
I know, but that's what a king is supposed to be—a servant to the people. I mean, I'm the metaphor. That's the reason I made the metaphor.
I got you.
It's a joke, but
I'm there with you. All right. We ended. We
go buy a smart metal before they're gone.
Yes. Yeah. There's less than 2,000 of them right now. And we're going to have even more great stuff coming in soon. So, all right. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks again, Ben. And everybody make sure you're subscribed to Ben over on Rumble as well. And check him
YouTube. Go subscribe to my channel on YouTube too. Cause I'm going to be doing a new podcast soon with somebody who's been in my Steganography community for a long time. He goes by the moniker Sonic Alchemy. I'm Skullcap SaVant. He's Sonic Alchemy. His name's Chris. And so we're going to be doing a regular podcast. Our first show is going to be August 8th. You'll be able to get it simulcast on Rumble or YouTube.
And VE Test. He's got a VE Test creators account. So
right. I should post it there too. I should also say I will post it there too. Like there'd be stupid not to do that.
Yep.
And so go to the Skullcap SaVant YouTube channel, and it's a little bit of a better leading mechanism I'm going to be using because there's the whole posting thing. You can make posts to your audience to promote things in YouTube, and so it's going to be
that on VE Test.
I know, but I can't do it on Rumble. So but that's why I'm saying everybody follow me on Rumble. Definitely, that's where all the conservatives are now these days. So you'll find me there, but it'll just be a mirror to what I do on YouTube, because YouTube has become the place where you got to capture people. Like I'll be able to introduce VE Test to YouTubers, for instance. I'm not going to get many new VE Test users if I'm only going to VE Test, because
I know.
I'm
not saying
they're the only ones using the platform right now. We got to get users.
Where we can post things. So
yeah.
So make sure you're on there. We'll see you guys there. All right. Take care. Bye.
See you later.